This is Bofades, and he is locked in ZF until he earns 1 million gold from this dungeon and this dungeon alone. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the series where we are locked in ZF until we earn 1 million gold. Today's episode is going to cover runs 271 through 280. Almost 300 runs in this place. That's insane. Before we get started, let's take a look at what we sold over the last several days. All right, looks like we made 2,293 gold from just the standard kind of trade goods stuff. Sold a traveler's backpack in there for 14 gold. Journeyman's backpack for 5 gold. What's up? Steadily selling those fish. All right, let's go ahead and get this in the bag, see where we start. All right, that puts us at 278,800 gold. And I would like to say, however, because a massive sale came in while I was gone, but I'm not sure that it came from here. So take a look at this. We sold the plans for the Searing Golden Blade for 170,000. I know these can drop from ZF, like ZF is the level band where that plan can drop, right? And I spent some time going back looking at all the old videos in this challenge, and I couldn't find an instance where it dropped for us during the challenge, which is making me wonder if it dropped during some of my Uldaman runs. So I'm not going to count that in our total unless someone knows that this did drop during this challenge and I just didn't see it, like I'm just missing it. So if any of you remember that dropping in any of the previous episodes, please send me a DM or comment on the post that I made on YouTube and say, hey, it dropped in episode 9 or whatever. But since I couldn't verify it, I'm not going to count it today, unfortunately. And it's double unfortunate that we didn't get really any other sales while we were gone. Super sad. So we're starting at 278,800 gold today. Let's go ahead and head on in. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We had kind of a busy one. We spent a lot of time with my wife's family and her grandmother, who turned 90 on Friday. And things got existential real quick, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But before we start, let's go ahead and take a look at a few comments. First comment says, I always watch both Bofades and Socrates on TV when I have my morning coffee. I'm from Belgium, so usually upload a few hours before I wake up. Oh, look at that, guys. We just sold plans for the Mithril Spurs for 3,900. Nice. So that's awesome. That comment came from a comment I made about being surprised that there are people all over the world kind of tuning into this small YouTube channel that we have here. I mean, predominantly my audience is from the United States, which makes sense. But there's a lot of people from Germany that are watching, some from, I guess now, Belgium, the UK. And I just think that's awesome because I'm over here in the middle of the United States. I've never been outside the United States. And to hear that I'm connecting with someone across the globe is like just really fun for me. And speaking of that and keeping on that same theme is this comment right here. Starting to appear on various countries. I've been watching both your channels since super early from South Africa. Also enjoy the weekend and happy birthday to your mom-in-law. Yeah, so South Africa. I've heard it's beautiful there, and I've heard Belgium is beautiful as well. And thanks for the comment. Next comment says, embrace the nerd. I, for one, read science textbooks to get to sleep. Currently reading Standard Methods of Chemical Analysis, 6th edition, volume 2, part B. Context of that comment is I was asking all of you, like, what you do to get to sleep every night, like what you watch. Like, do you watch YouTube videos? Do you read, you know? And I mentioned that I kind of like to watch foreign films, like old foreign films that are black and white. So it feels almost like I'm reading a book a little bit as I'm falling asleep. And I call myself a nerd for that. Like a lot of you probably don't even know who Ingmar Bergman is, but like I love his films. And The Seventh Seal is like a really good movie to fall asleep to. Anyway, though, I'm with you. Embrace the nerd in all things, right? You only YOLO once, so enjoy the things that you enjoy. All right, last comment of the day. Wait, I just found you, and this is a cool idea. Instant sub. Question, how are you doing different auction houses on the same tune? I've never heard that you can do this. So I'm not doing different auction houses on Bofades here. I'm using what's called a warband bank, where I'm putting all of the items that I get from here in that bank, and then I'm logging into other tunes and posting it on auction houses where like their realms are. So basically you can do this, even though this is not wise, and I've said this like 1,000 times, you can just farm one thing over and over as long as you have enough tunes on enough different realms to post it and not compete with yourself with the items that you're posting. I know one guy who spends the majority of his time just farming the dice, like the Trolls dice, the Decahedral Dwarven dice or whatever, and he has like 40 or 50 of each of those, and he just has them posted on every auction house. Like there's a chance if you're in the US that you're competing with this guy. And if I wasn't able to do that, post all this stuff on different auction houses, this challenge would be nearly impossible. And it's already really freaking hard as it is. But we are starting to see a little bit of growth. We didn't see much over the last few days because I wasn't able to repost like on Friday when I was gone. But we're back at it, and hopefully we can start seeing that number keep going up. I'm hoping to hit 300,000 in the next couple days. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and eat our fried bonefish. Start with Loot Appraiser. And let's have a baller day today, shall we? All right, Wolf Rider's headgear, our first green that dinged today. So let me expand on what I said earlier about things getting pretty existential at my wife's grandmother's 90th birthday party. Our second green that dinged is also Wolf Rider's headgear. So we all gathered around to sing happy birthday, and she was sitting at the kitchen table. And you know how at the end of happy birthday, the song, people sometimes say, and many more? Ooh, lofty breastplate, let's go. Anyway, one of her great grandkids, who is like 6 or 7, shouted that out, and he said, and many more. And she looked up at us from staring at her cake and said, oh God, I hope not. And her kids immediately were like, Grandma! Tyrants like plates. I mean, 90 is up there. You've lived a full life at that point. Comes a point when you're essentially just kind of, you know, ready to go. And Grandma Carol here has always been known for her honesty. First blue, black metal cape, bloodletter scalpel. So anyway, that little comment at the end of happy birthday led to a lot of side conversations for the rest of the weekend. Oh, and this is off topic, but I noticed over the weekend that Socrates' channel got 3 new members that joined. And I noticed that whenever they leave comments, like there's this little badge next to their name, which is pretty cool. Warbringer's chest guards, Scorpashi shoulder pads. And as far as what I'm going to do when it comes to memberships, whenever I see the badge next to your name and you've left a comment, I'm most likely going to pull your comment up as one to highlight, or at least talk about in the video at some point. And that doesn't mean that I'm only going to highlight members' comments, because, you know, a lot of comments that come through are from non-members that are just awesome, hilarious, and I want to cover them. I just want to provide the members a little bit extra, you know, something a little different for, you know, supporting the channel at that level. That also means I'm gonna have to figure out what to do when it comes to like members only videos, because that seems to be a big part of like YouTube membership. Lofty arm guards, and I am going to keep my word and never put Bofades behind a paywall. Like, he'll never be... Oh, nice, another pair. Like this series and all future series, like all future challenge videos that we make, you'll always be able to watch Bofades for free. What I'm thinking about doing for membership videos is just giving you guys like a behind the scenes look at my entire account, like every week pulling up my ledger to show everything that's sold across all the different auction houses that I'm on. Ooh, Vanguard, breastplate, heroic girdle, nice. And that's if that even sounds interesting to you guys. So I'll probably need to do like some sort of poll or something. Ask members what it is they would actually want. Just got a message from Hazy Loot here saying that we should do island expeditions in the future. What do you guys think? I'm developing this like complicated, complex, like, I don't know, Game of Thrones sort of lore between Bofades and Socrates that I think could be cool, and it could play into like our next round of challenges. But I'm not gonna, like I said before, I'm not gonna go hardcore with like changing my accent and like actually playing these characters. Like, I am a third-person omniscient narrator in this whole thing. But the plan that I'm cooking up for like the next set of challenges that they're both gonna go through, I think will feel just a little bit more epic than these have felt. Like, the stakes are going to be high again with, you know, the amount of gold that we need to earn, but there's going to be like an added layer on top of that. Jade Circlet. As you guys know, I love philosophy, and I also read a lot of Shakespeare. And what I'm wanting to do is pull a little bit of that into the next round of challenges. Bloodforged like plates. And it could be really cool what I'm wanting to do, or it could be really lame, but either way, I'm going to enjoy putting it together and doing it. Why am I even talking about this? Oh, because, yeah, so for like membership videos down the line, I was thinking that like the deeper the lore, or the deeper like I go into the lore, the more of a membership video it'll probably end up being. Brutus Shield. Hey, we got another one. Awesome. Ancient Design Square Holders. Hey, do you guys know that you can get an eye gouger from this place? Someone asked in the comments where I got the most recent version of Loot Appraiser, and it's actually not a recent version of Loot Appraiser. It's like a completely different add-on. It's called Loot Appraiser Reloaded, and it's the only one that actually works now. So if you're trying to download the old Loot Appraiser, just know that it's not going to work for you. You have to do Loot Appraiser Reloaded. Someone in the comments said that Raid Shadow Legends is a psyop to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I do think it's odd that we see so much about that game like in ads, but you don't really ever see like a content creator actually playing it a lot. Dark Mist Armor, which seems kind of sus, right? I've seen people make similar arguments about other things as well. Like televised college football games is like a psyop to get you to, you know, join the military or drink Coke or drive a Ford. I don't know, the idea of psyops is really interesting to me. Like, I recently found out that the animated version of Animal Farm was different from the book because it was a psyop. That's a fun little rabbit hole if you guys are into rabbit holes. I think the rest of this 25 minutes is going to feel like house money. We've gotten quite a few good things from this run. I'm not opposed to getting something major, but, you know, it's been pretty good so far. Ooh, another lofty breastplate. That's what we got earlier, right? Lofty breastplate. Yeah, look, we got 2 of these bad boys today. Nice. Brutish leg guards. Bloodforged chest piece. I've been watching a lot of the World Cup, like the analysis and the games, obviously, too. And I've been thinking more about, like, how to do sponsored content in a way that doesn't feel yucky. And I like during those shows when they're just like, you know, and this breakdown is brought to you by, you know, Bank of America. And then they just move on with the breakdown. Like, that little sentence doesn't feel like a full-blown ad. And I was thinking that something similar could work here, you know? Like, say we get an eye gouger drop, and you just hear me say, and today's eye gouger is brought to you by, you know, some book that's in our catalog. Like, Blue Drops and Epic Drops are sponsored by books in our catalog. And all I would do is just show you a quick picture of the book and then move on. Because I don't like the idea of, like, pulling you away from the video for, like, a full minute to talk about some product. Although I do get it now, though, now that I have my own monetization dashboards with these channels. Like, I understand why, especially World of Warcraft or gaming creators, do so many sponsored posts. Because the RPM for gaming content is so low, like really low. And I hope you guys don't mind me doing this fourth wall stuff again with you. I have like no one else to talk to about this kind of stuff. No one that's like on YouTube a lot and thinks about this sort of stuff, that is. I do have friends and loved ones that I talk to. But anyway, if I do it that way, it'll kind of be on brand with just this troll kind of stuff that we're doing here, you know? Where it'll literally be, you know, and today's eye gouger drop is brought to you by The Gilded Age by Mark Twain. Get it wherever you buy books. Minotaur. And today's Minotaur is brought to you by, you know, insert one of my books, right? Hey, do you guys know that you can get Witch Doctor's canes from here? Jade Fire Chest Guard. Some of the comments said that they kind of miss the dings, like where I would announce the item right after the ding so that the ding would be in the video. Would you guys let me know in the comments if that's something that is true for you as well? Like you would like to hear the constant dinging of Loot Appraiser? Yo, we got another one. Look at that. Awesome. We go like 220 runs before we get our first one, and then in these 10 runs we've gotten 2. Heroic Girdle. All right, guys, that does it for these 10 runs. I've already sold quite a bit of stuff, and this is what we're left with. As far as the blues go, we got a Witch Doctor's cane. We've seen this a bunch of times. US region is 10K on this. A Minotaur, however you say it. 20K US region on that one. Bloodletter Scalpel. 17K US region on that. An Eye Gouger, 25K region on that. Black Metal Cape. It's pretty clean looking, actually, isn't it? 6,700 on the region for that. Before we look at the best items of the day, I did keep several greens. I kept the Lofty Breastplates. We got 2 of those. 116K US region on those. 45K on this from. Kept the Lofty Arm Guards because typically if people buy the chest, they buy the bracers too. Bloodforged chest piece. Everything blood you keep from here. 29K market value on that. Vanguard chest plate. Looks like this. 179K market value on that. 87K on this room. I'm going to keep these 2 shields, a Griffin Mail Buckler and the Brutus Shield, the PlayStation 2 shield. 6,500 on the Griffin and then 15K on this one, the Brutus Shield one. Bloodforged leg plates. We keep Bloodforged stuff. 11K on those. Tyrant's leg plates. We've sold a couple of these in this challenge. 34K US region on those. Only 3,800 on this realm. I'm going to keep these Griffin Mail Pauldrons. I looked at my inventory and I only have 3 of these up, so this will be my 4th one that I'll put up. And then our best item of the day is the Ancient Design for the square holders. Cool glasses. Looks like that. We got 2 of those, which I think is really interesting because it took us like 220, 230 runs to get our first pair, right? As far as Loot Appraiser goes, our looted item value today was 1.1 million gold, which this stuff in here is not 1.1 million gold. I think we all know that by now. I didn't disenchant all the Soulbound loot today. I am kind of in a rush. I need to jump over to Socrates, knock out his video, and then have some stuff I have to do after his video and after I edit that. But I did disenchant all the Troll Hearts, and we got 3 Greater Eternal Essence from those and 18 Large Brilliant Shards. No fish today, which makes me sad. 2 Reinforced Steel Lockboxes. Those will be added to the others that we have. I don't know why I didn't vendor these rings, but these will be vendored here in a second. So after doing all of that, we are at 281,307 gold for this challenge, 28% of the way through. Someone mentioned in the comments that they predict that this last part of the challenge, or like the next 3 quarters, I guess, of the challenge is going to go by pretty fast because I've opened it up to other auction houses. And I agree, but I'm not gonna say it's gonna go really fast. I'm not gonna say that we're gonna be done in like a week or two, because it doesn't matter how many auction houses you have all your transmog up on. Transmog takes time to sell, and because our inventory across all these auction houses consists of a lot of the same items, it's gonna be even slower than one would expect. But that's okay. A challenge is a challenge, right? So anyway, if you enjoy this sort of content, I would encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, become a member if you'd like to support the channel. We are seeing slow and steady growth, which is very exciting. And if this is your very first episode that you've caught from this challenge, I would encourage you to go back and try to catch up. Maybe just put the playlist on in the background and just let it run, because even that small action can help out the channel quite a bit. So anyway, until next time, take care. See you soon.